All right, guys, welcome back to the Misperception Podcast. I'm your host, Destiny, and we are officially at episode 9. Thank you all for watching my previous episodes, keeping up with the series. As always, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share if you care, send it to a friend, and thank you for watching. I am feeling a little bit under the weather today, so my energy probably isn't as high as I like to have it. But still, without further ado, we got some really good content, some really good conversations that you can bring back home or share with a friend, okay? So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this next episode. Let it fall apart, then tell the truth. When you are at your version of rock bottom, or you're at like in between a rock and a hard place, right? You're in a situation that's not ideal. You're sitting in the ruins and you're like frustrated. You're angry. You're sad. When you are in whatever situation you are in, I want you to look at that situation and tell the truth. Tell yourself, speak it out loud, write it down exactly what you see. Exactly what you feel. I want you to analyze every single contribution, every person's impact, every habit. Analyze any and everything that led to right here where you are, good and bad. This is going to be an exercise like targeted towards you. Check everything within your system. How did you respond to certain situations? When you're in the midst of your hardest season, you need to be able to tell the truth about what is going on. And I'm not telling you to go out there and scream it on top of the rooftop, but I am saying you need to say it to yourself. You need to cognitively understand your situation. For a lot of people, and at least for me, when I first hit the beginning of my healing journey and I had to acknowledge the truth about everything that happened in my life, that escapism that I was telling you about in one of these episodes, that was a factor for me because I could have hit rock bottom and escaped. I would have made it again eventually, but for some of us, we have an avoidant attachment to things. So when we are faced with pain and complicated situations, we're just not gonna acknowledge them, knowing that they're not gonna go away. But it hurt a little less if you just bypass it. For some of us, we can clearly see. Honestly, we don't clearly see it. We allow our delusional thinking to alter what we see. And the fact is, for a lot of us, perception is our reality. Like, if we're thinking about support, if we're thinking about love, if we're thinking about relationships, whatever you believe to be true in those situations is true. It's your truth. And because you believe that, you're going to do everything subconsciously or consciously to reinforce that belief that you made, even if it is blurred by love, or if it's blurred or altered by biases, right? All I know is the inability to tell at least yourself the truth is the reason why a lot of us hit rock bottom. Not wanting to face our own reality, not wanting to accept people for who they are or what they did, right? Trying to see the good, trying to be empathetic are all, I won't call them symptoms, but like factors that allow us to give people a little bit too much grace. When you're at this space and you tell yourself the truth, you will be able to move forward in a way and in a manner that you hadn't done before. I think for a lot of us, especially in this generation, and I'm very, very happy about this generation, not because like we're the greatest. Well, I could probably say that, but and probably a little bit biased, but we are pretty good. But something that I am proud of about this generation in this day and age, despite everything that we have been through, a lot of us has committed ourselves to growing, to breaking generational curses, to making sure that what traumatizes us don't traumatize the next generation, right? We are having conversations about legacy and about things that just serve us and allow us to grow not only as like individuals and families, but allow us to grow as a whole. That is something for us to be proud of. I think that our generation is doing that, and we are facing our own struggles because we hadn't seen that done for us before. I think that the generations before us had taught us all that they know, and I'm trying to say this as delicate as I can, but they taught us one thing the generations before us taught us how to deceive very, very well. They taught us deception and lie. If they didn't teach us nothing else, they taught us that. The more that I become mature in my journey, I realize that deception and that lie that they taught us led to a lot of our demise. However, it got us through everything until this point. And that's that's a very complicated, like, phenomenon. Y'all know, like, when people say you can't take everything you learn into the next season of your life, deception and the art of lying, that's one of them. Because I think that because the generations before us taught us to hold our secrets and take that into an early grave, to don't let our pain show because it's a sign of weakness, to keep pressing forward, don't get toggled down by your emotional space, right? They taught us all the means to survive. And technically, if we're here to do this, we survived, we did it, right? But I think while they were giving us those tools to survive, what I meant when I said it would be detrimental to us if we hold on to it is because every secret kept doesn't give us the opportunity to heal. And if it's not healing, if it's not growing, if we're not evolving, we are dying. We're killing ourselves. That's really what it is. I think that when we were taught to lie and cover up these truths about what happened in our family or what happened in our past in order to protect ourselves, it was also to protect others. That's at least what they taught us. But now, I realize that technique, that exposure, it causes a little bit more harm than good. Because not only did we begin to lie and deceive others and, for the means of protection and safety, somewhere down the line, we began to lie to ourselves. And you'll look up one day and you'll realize that you aren't really doing what you said you were going to do, are you? You're not actually believing what you say to be true, because how long you have been holding on to secrets, how long you have been deceiving people, how long you have been controlling other people's perception of you. The point that I'm making here is that we get so caught up in trying to not face our reality that we begin to lie to ourselves about what we actually see. We begin to unconsciously lie to ourselves. How often do you lie to yourself? Because before this season, I was definitely lying to myself. And honestly, one day I found myself lying to God. I'm telling you, my trust And people changed when I realized people lie to God too. And I don't think it's as intentional as we had seen people talk about lie. Oh, you gotta cover up a lie with another one. No, I think some people lie because they want it to be true. However, you cannot claim something without work, right? You cannot do it without proof. When I learned that people do lie to God, especially because I told a clean lie, my my trust in people changed. And not in a way that was like it declined. It changed in a way that I heard you, but I need to see proof. You tell me you want to transform your mind and become mentally more charged and intelligent. I want to see the proof. You tell me you want to transform your body and lose weight or gain it, whatever your goal is. Show me the proof. You claim that you want to spiritually grow. You want to emotionally evolve. You want to break generational curses. Show me the proof. I had to say that to myself, right? After I spoke the truth, I had to say that to myself because I had to re-regulate my own body to believe in me again. Lies and deception, I'm not here to like argue with you about if they're bad, if they're like morally correct. I want you to think about the art of deception and lies because they do not allow you to grow. How often do you lie to yourself? How often, and you ain't gotta leave it in the comments here. Say it to yourself. Write it down. Speak it aloud. That's why I'm giving you activities and tasks to do. Because my proof, I can literally pick it up. I can show it to you. When you are getting in the habit of keeping secrets or attempting to control somebody's perception of you, when you're sprinkling lies everywhere, it gets on you too. It gets on you too. You need to be honest about where you are, what you did, what happened. Tell the truth and don't let nobody shame you, try to intimidate you, scare you from telling the truth because this is your life. This is your legacy that you're building. This is your commitment. This is your oath. You need to show up for yourself. And it all begins with the same thing, accepting what's true. I dated, oh, that's a good one. I dated once for potential. Worst decision I ever did in my life. Because potential isn't truth. It's diluted thinking. It's a blurred perception. And it masked my ability to actually see what was true. To see what was actually right there in my face. People think they are being clever, but you're not. You want to break cycles. You want to charge whatever you want to charge to the game. You want to walk in authenticity. You want to walk in it. You want to love freely, wholly, completely. You need to start telling the truth. This is for you. It's literally just for you. A lot of people don't heal, not because, let me rephrase. A lot of people don't heal because it's hard. And I say this almost every episode. Healing was the hardest thing I ever had to do. It broke me in every freaking way that I can think about in order to transform me. It dismantled every preconceived, learned, and absorbed trauma. I'm getting hit from every direction. Learning myself in this space has been beautiful, and I tell y'all that. But my healing journey was the hardest thing I ever done. Most people don't heal because it's hard. It's so much easier to cope, to drink, to party, to avoid it, to escape it. It's way easier. But you don't get the benefits of peace without healing. You don't get the benefits of stability emotionally, right? Without healing. You don't get the perks of being a healed person if you refuse to heal. A lot of people claim that they want things, but there is no proof that you actually do. So, Destiny, why do we need to heal so bad? The perks that I just talked you about is a driving factor. I mean, I love the way my life is. But I think the ultimate goal of healing is so that you can learn who you are. I think that no one knows exactly who they are if they have not went through a spiritual transformation in this lifetime, on this plane. You know who you are with trauma. You know who you are if you're forced to survive. You know who you are based on everything that friends, family, society, community, schools, they placed into you. They built this version of you. Healing is to figure out who you are outside of trauma, outside of any other motivating factor other than I want to know who I am, my identity under God. What was I created for? Healing is a luxury because of that. Healing is a luxury that most people cannot afford. If you are being called to this space, if you are seeking it, it starts with you telling the truth to yourself. Rewiring your brain to start believing in you again. I remember I would say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, right? I done forgot that I even said it in the next breath. That's how it became. That's how often I would just lie. Because no, you're not. You're not gonna do that, girl. You lying. I'm gonna do that gym thing tomorrow. It's like a viral thing. And you see people they're still eating, they're still not doing what they need to do to get to the goals they want to get to. There's no proof. A lot of people say they want it, but they don't. And a lot of people just be talking. That's the truth. They just be talking. Letting it fall apart and then telling the truth is how you plant your seed. My spiritual journey started years ago. But when I spoke the truth, that's when I planted this seed. It gave me the ability to reimagine life. It gave me the luxury of finding that identity, building foundation, rebuilding relationship, isolating me for some time, strengthening my faith, assigning meaning to destiny, who destiny was, providing purpose and provision and parameters. And it is truly one of the best decisions I ever made. But it is hard. Anyways, I'm not feeling too good today, y'all. So I apologize in advance if I'm pretty bland. But I really, really love bringing this content to y'all on a weekly basis. I'm preparing to transition into a new season, literally. And this is the first time in my life that I didn't even realize it, y'all. But I spoke in one of the episodes prior to this one about when I was getting called to this season right here, right? Months ago. I've been in a season, I've been doing my thing. Yeah, I'm about to exit the season. Not fully know I'm about to exit it. I still pray. I got a couple, a couple more time, a couple more days, a little more time in this space, literally. And I'm praying and I'm talking to God like, hey, anything else I miss anything? Like I'm searching high and low just to make sure. I got 2 assignments to do left. And I did one of them already. One more to go. And I realized the other day though, there was not like a specimen of fear in my bones about what is coming next. When I got called to this season, I was shaking in my boots. I was scared. I was scared, like completely fearful of what would happen here. Now that I'm exiting and I have no idea what's going to go next, I'm waiting on God to tell me. There's no fear in my body. There is only optimism and desire and pure hope and happiness for what's coming next. This is proof. This is my proof. The absence of fear is literally my proof that I have been doing my work. I didn't even realize it until I was in prayer yesterday. That I didn't even feel fear. And fear used to overwhelm my life when it came to transitioning to new stages and new places and to new people. Fear would overwhelm me. I didn't even think about it. Like, we're down to the quarter of the day. I'm ready to get into bed. It's 77 degrees in here and I have on a sweater. I'm gonna go put on socks. I don't really know. I don't know what I touched or whatever. But we're at the quote of the day. And it reads, maybe one day we shall be glad to remember even these hardships. And I'll say that again. Maybe one day we should be glad to remember even these hardships. When you get further enough down your the road that's intended for you, the one that God paid, that you put that work in for, you will realize that the hardships were essential. And I know you can't see it now. You will realize that every single thing that happened, God allowed. The only reason now is why. And you can figure that out. And you will smile about them. Imagine that. Trauma ain't nothing funny about that. Ain't nothing joyful about it. But to be able to reminisce on it and say, that helped me, that sounds insane when you're in the midst of it. Until next time, thank you for watching.